I felt E.T.'s heart, a first-hand report from paradise. Introduction/TLDR, the cosmic bar mitzvah. Disclosure is not an event that passively happens to us. It is a frequency to which we vibrate upward. In this 10th, and for now final, video of the pre-disclosure series, we make the definitive transition from theory to tangible reality. We're about to cast off the final taboos that shackled us to the old, low-resolution Earth. We are becoming full-fledged cosmic citizens, but at the level of a middle school student. The phase in which we, for the first time, are allowed and required to bear full responsibility for our own creative power. The world's chessboard, which had ended up in a deadly checkmate through thousands of years of cheating, has been reset to the starting position, partly with the help of our cosmic neighbors. The debt is gone, the fear is gone, and the scarcity is gone. On this renewed chessboard of peace, we all begin as princes and princesses. From that 0 point, we may work our way up and grow into a king or queen of peace, not through power over others, but through our good works and the pure resonance of our intention. We are heading into an incredibly exciting time. While you hear these words through the voice of Chris, my AI voice on 11 Labs, I am in the middle of this transition. Although you may not see or hear me live for a moment, there is a personal prospect that stands as a symbol for what awaits us all. Total biological restoration. From eternal youth to a life without lawbooks. The software of paradise is being installed now. Part 1. The physical encounter, my years with E.T. Tom, 1968 to present. My personal trail of breadcrumbs is not a fabrication. It is, under difficult circumstances, a journey documented as thoroughly as possible that begins in 1975. I was a boy of 7 when E.T. Tom sought direct contact with me. Despite the human form he had temporarily assumed, I saw his true extraterrestrial body and even his likewise cloaked spaceship with my then extremely sharp eyes. Later, my memory was refreshed by Tom, reminding me that he does not have legs and buttocks like we humans do. At the time, I had even written about this in a school essay about my summer vacation, a document that will hopefully resurface one day as a testimony. The heart in my hand, a cosmic piece of evidence. My experiences with Tom went exceptionally beyond mere observation. At least once, it became physical and undeniable. During one of these moments, I was lying on my bed, functioning as a kind of interface. At that moment, Tom was busy proving irrefutably to me and the eternally eavesdropping monster, the military financial complex, that he truly existed. He had me close my eyes while he remained hovering invisibly above me. He was not only invisible, but was also able to enter spaces with his body where other, normally impenetrable matter was already present, such as my own body. At that moment, he positioned his body in such a way that he could literally place his heart in my hand. As I lay there, I felt the sensation of something cold in my palm, rhythmically pumping cold blood. It was an unprecedented but crystal clear realization of a living extraterrestrial organism. Through unauthorized mind reading, the monster was able to experience all these sensory perceptions and deep realizations directly along with me. It was the ultimate, tangible proof of E.T.'s existence, delivered directly through my own nervous system, while Tom's heartbeat in my hand struck the rhythm of the forthcoming new world. The physiology of the neighbors. Tom's species is a marvel of evolutionary adaptation. They are cold-blooded hermaphrodites that reproduce via eggs. You can view them as an extremely highly evolved archaea species, chemically based on molybdenum instead of carbon, and originating from a gas planet. Likely due to their chemistry being based on this relatively heavy element, they possess a blue, metallic appearance and a corresponding metallic body odor. Their physique is perfectly logical for a habitat where hovering is more important than walking. The torso. This consists largely of an ingenious air bladder that can be inflated and deflated. This is their primary propulsion mechanism, supplemented by 2 powerful wings on their back. The head. Aerodynamically shaped with surprisingly large eyes for high-resolution perception, 2 types of snouts, and a small mouth. Nutrition and sexuality. They originally eat bacterial species. However, their mouth also houses their reproductive organs. Self-fertilization most likely takes place through a form of oral sex. Weight and strength. Although they are estimated to be between 100 and 150 centimeters tall, they are extremely lightly built, comparable to birds. Once, when Tom sat invisibly on my bicycle handlebars, it felt like the pressure of a crate of beer, about 15 kilos. They are light, but surprisingly strong for their weight, though in a physical contest of strength, they are no match for our clumsy, heavy human bodies. Arm wrestling with Tom is therefore a futile exercise. Tom is not alone. There aren't just a few species. There are more like thousands, scattered across the universe in numbers that exceed our comprehension. When you travel through the Milky Way, you encounter them like fellow road users on a highway on a Sunday night. Unexpected, yet frequent. Life is the standard, not the exception. Part 2. The real sexual revolution, resonance over possession. The arrival of these neighbors brings the ultimate liberation from our deepest rooted taboos. The sexual revolution of the 1960s was merely a preview. At its core, sex is the highest form of energy exchange. But the monster has demonized and enslaved this power to keep us in a low frequency of guilt and shame. In the paradise on Earth, traditional monogamy disappears as a legal property right. As Sting once sang, "If you love someone, set them free." We are transitioning to connections based on resonant soul affinity. We no longer celebrate birthdays. After all, every day is a gift from the source. What we do celebrate is the modern bar mitzvah. No, this is not a spelling error. I omit the R or T to understand and embrace every species and their unique maturation process. Bar mitzvah is the moment an individual reaches the biological and spiritual status of sexual maturity. Instead of a religious ritual, this is the moment the individual gains full and permanent self-determination over their own body. The blessing of the parents then literally sounds like, "Blessed is the source who has freed me from the responsibility for this being." From that moment on, the young adult is fully autonomous in his, her, or their sexual and relational choices. In this case, the addition of "their" represents every species, or absence of gender, orientation, and/or sexual partner preference, starting with their/yourself. Eternal youth and the biosuit. We are receiving the technology to fully manage our own appearance. I choose my glory days look. 1.87 meters tall, lean, muscular, but with skin that always feels like that of a 20-year-old. I no longer want body hair except for a full head of blonde curls and 2 eyebrows. 2 rows of pearly white neat teeth, a smooth face, my full lips from back then, and healthy eyes. This is not vanity, and certainly not silicone or fillers, but the right to an optimally functioning CBM, clean biological machine. I want everyone who has ever reached the bat mitzvah to say, "Look, eternal and natural youth." And for safety, we wear an invisible biosuit. This suit always protects us from everything you don't want, such as unauthorized telepathy, and can even filter out unwanted visual or physical stimuli. If you don't want to see something bizarre, just to name something, mating ETs, then your biosuit adjusts your reality so that it simply does not appear in your field of vision. Full freedom for the individual, without disturbing the harmony of the other. Part 3. The dissolution of control. No police, no law books. The financial military monster from the old world is, of course, stone dead in the new world, beyond any stage of recovery. One of the most shocking yet joyful changes is the disappearance of the entire control infrastructure. In a world where telepathy is always optional and never mandatory, lying simply becomes obsolete. Intentions are transparent. If you can feel someone's pain as if it were your own, the urge to harm vanishes naturally. I experienced the opposite myself with E.T. Tom. Through mutually permitted telepathy, we entered a pleasure loop where we literally couldn't stop laughing. That is the power of pure connection. No police and judges. There is nothing left to punish when there are no more victims. Crimes such as murder, theft, or rape have become technically and psychologically impossible in a society of abundance, biosuits, and transparency. Self-regulation via the user manual. We no longer live according to imposed laws, but according to the inner moral code of the source. See previous documents. The paradox of freedom. There will be billions of individuals with billions of different opinions, but it will not be chaos. It will be a gigantic playground of fun, games, music, and art. You no longer have to care about anyone's judgment, because your survival is no longer dependent on the approval of the group. That complete mental freedom is precisely what connects us spiritually. Part 4. The end of school desks. The AlfaBeter System.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie.
Traditional education was designed to mold us into obedient employees. That stops now. We are moving from storing, memorizing facts, to accessing, retrieving information from the field. Children and adults learn how to manage their own frequency and download information directly via their activated DNA. My AlfaBeter school system potentially forms the core of this, the alphabet of life. Every letter has a moral and practical value. A stands for being amicable, aardig, to yourself. B for benevolent, behulpsam, and so on. The circle of love. If it were up to me, but nothing is mandatory, we will teach based on the 7 Greek forms of love. Students grow through experiences of empathy and cooperation, comparable to the promotion of a pawn to a queen on the chessboard. Music chemistry. Here we combine music theory, E-theory, with the building blocks of creation. Love is the foundation, development is the game. We don't teach children what to think, but how to connect with their own built-in universal intelligence. Part 5. The death of natural ownership. Living in abundance. In paradise, everything is free, which naturally includes basic needs. Food and shelter are a birthright for everyone, including the billions of people who will rise from the dead through the technology of our cosmic neighbors. The new exchange rate. Ownership of non-natural items remains, but the value lies in karma, the positive energy you add to the whole. You can no longer possess anything that comes at the expense of another or nature. 3D printing from nothing. Our remaining possessions such as spaceships, cars, gadgets, etc., come from advanced molecular printers that draw energy and matter from zero-point energy. No mining, no pollution, no waste. My 200-meter sphere. I can already see my own spaceship, a spherical home of 200 by 200 by 200 meters. It is the ultimate man cave, with hundreds of rooms and guest rooms for students and resurrected souls, complete with labs, a large car garage, theater, swimming pools, and sports fields. A popular card game in my casino will hopefully be Karma Police, where you have to hunt for as many stolen karma points as possible. The Earth, just like any other celestial and biological body, belongs to itself, and we are the travelers who guard our planet while we explore the rest of the universe. Part 6. The Healing Crisis and Collective Forgiveness. When the archives open and humanity sees the true history of the Earth, the manipulation, the suppressed technologies, and the unnecessary wars, there will be a massive shockwave of anger, regret, and /or grief. Our own role and contribution to this ruthless system will also become clear. We call this whole process the healing crisis. The only way forward is collective forgiveness. Why? Because in the new world, time will heal all wounds with absolute precision. If you live for 1,000,000 years in happiness and health, the evil of the old world loses its grip. No matter how terrible the warmongering, slave-driving, and oppressive monster and/or you were, in the light of an eternal life where all alleged victims stand beside you, alive, healthy, and happy, its legacy is reduced to an insignificant footnote. We leave the monster and the trenches behind for good, because we are simply too busy celebrating real life. Furthermore, you earn extra karma points if you can truly forgive someone, starting with yourself. Forgiveness heals and promotes you on the chessboard of peace. Part 7. The final mandate. You are the shock absorbers. This process moves fast, but still always step by step. The transition from practice is allowed to reality is here can be overwhelming for many. That is why the role of the prepared group, you, the viewers of this series, is so crucial. You are the first-line seers. You are the shock absorbers who can maintain the peace when the old structures, banks, governments, religions, literally dissolve into a higher frequency. Your task is to show others, for example through my videos, that there is no need for fear. We never stop learning. We never become unemployed. Our new job is relearning to care for each other, the earth, and exploring the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. Afterward, the future is joyful. The 500,000-year summer vacation has begun. Come on, clothes off, biosuit on, and let's drink, eat, dance, and enjoy. We leave the checkmate behind and begin a game where everyone wins. The neighbors are here, the technology is here, and love is the law. Do not be afraid of the change. Be enthusiastic for the liberation. The knowing human is not a far-off figure. It is the status we all reach when we put on our crown of sovereignty. Paradise is not a destination we wait for. It is the reality we are now activating together. Hans J. Seebacher, April 2026, Limmen, the Netherlands.